Hey everyone, welcome back to Big Markets Think Simple. Quick question. Did you grab a coffee this morning? Maybe you paid your Netflix bill yesterday? In that one tiny moment, one you probably didn't even think about, an invisible superhighway carrying trillions of dollars just fired up underneath you, and you had no idea. The company that owns that highway? Visa. Now, most people think Visa is just a card company, right? Like they make the little plastic card in your wallet. I thought the same thing. But here's the wild part. Visa doesn't make cards. They don't lend you money. They don't even touch your money. They just own the toll road that every single dollar on the planet has to drive through. Last year alone, $14.2 trillion passed through that road. That's not billion, that's trillion. 14.2 of them. But lately, cracks are starting to show in this perfect system. India and Brazil ditched cards entirely and built their own instant payment highways for free. Apple and Google are quietly trying to cut Visa out of the loop. Governments are screaming monopoly, and now there's this thing called stablecoins that could let you send money anywhere in the world with basically zero fees. So the question everyone's asking is Visa finally done? Or is it quietly building something even bigger that we're not seeing yet? Today, we're going to break all of it down. No finance degree needed, just the real story. How a company that makes zero cards somehow controls the world's money. The business model is honestly kind of genius. 2, why Apple, the governments of India and Brazil, and even crypto are all threatening Visa at the same time, and what's really driving it. 3, what Visa's actual plan is to survive all of this. Spoiler, it's not just make better cards.
This video is not investment advice. It's for educational, entertainment, and informational purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research before making any investment decisions. Any investment decisions are your own responsibility.
All right, let's get into it. So how does Visa actually make money? One sentence, Visa owns the highway and collects the toll. Here's how it works. There are 4 players every time you swipe your card. You, buying a coffee, the coffee shop, your bank, who gave you the card, and the coffee shop's bank, who manages their money. The second you tap that card, something wild happens in about 2 seconds. The coffee shop's bank asks your bank, hey, can this person pay $6? That question flies through Visa's network. Your bank checks, yep, funds are there, not fraud, and fires back, you're good. The coffee shop gets paid. Done. What did Visa actually do? It just passed the message. That's it. But here's the thing. That happens 700 million times a day. And the genius part? Visa doesn't make the cards. Visa doesn't lose money if you don't pay your bill. That's your bank's problem. Visa just sits in the middle, takes a small cut of every transaction, and walks away completely clean. Good economy, bad economy, doesn't matter. People still buy groceries. People still pay bills. The highway stays busy. That's why right now there are 4.8 billion Visa cards in the world and 175 million merchants who accept them. That's what a network effect looks like at full power. And for a long time, it made Visa look completely untouchable. So what changed? Simple answer, free roads showed up. In Brazil, there's something called Pix. In India, it's UPI. These are government-built payment systems where you just scan a QR code and money moves instantly, directly from bank account to bank account. No card, no Visa, no fee. Hundreds of millions of people are using these every day. And this isn't just a developing country thing anymore. The US and Europe are starting to build their own versions. Then there's big tech. Apple Pay, Google Pay, right now they still run on top of Visa's network, but their end game? Build their own, cut Visa out entirely. These companies have hundreds of millions of loyal customers. That's not a small threat. And governments, they're coming after Visa's fees, calling it a monopoly. Last year, Visa had to set aside nearly $3 billion just for antitrust lawsuits. Not a great look. Then there's stablecoins, digital dollars tied one-to-one with the US dollar that can move anywhere in the world with basically nothing. The technology isn't fully there for everyday use, but it's getting there. So Visa had a choice. Keep running the same toll road and slowly watch the traffic disappear, or rebuild into something bigger. They chose to rebuild. First, new flows. This is Visa's answer to those free government payment systems. Instead of just handling card swipes, Visa now handles any money movement. The big product here is called Visa Direct. Think of it this way. An Uber driver finishes their shift and wants to get paid right now, not in a week. Visa Direct sends that money to their card in minutes. Insurance companies use it to pay out claims instantly. The government uses it for tax refunds. Businesses use it for payroll. Visa's basically saying, wherever money needs to move, we want to be the pipe. Second, value-added services, or VAS. This is where it gets really interesting. Visa has data, a lot of data. They see what billions of people are buying, when, and where. So now they're selling that intelligence. Example, a bank wants to re-engage credit card holders who got a card but stopped using it. Visa looks at the data and tells them, these customers consistently eat out on Friday nights. Send them a restaurant discount coupon at 5 p.m. on Friday. Transactions go up, everyone wins. Or, during the FIFA World Cup, Visa can tell a stadium vendor that Argentine fans buy merchandise 2 hours before kickoff, while European fans spike on beer at halftime. That's not just interesting, that's how you staff your store and stock your shelves. They're also building AI fraud detection that can decide in 0.1 seconds whether a transaction is real or fake. And they're using tokenization, replacing your card number with a secure code every time you pay, so even if someone hacks the merchant, your actual card info is safe. In stablecoins, Visa stopped fighting them. They started using them. They're now settling international transactions on blockchain, faster, cheaper, and they've expanded stablecoin-linked cards to over 100 countries. Their leadership put it plainly, we're not just a toll road anymore. We're the platform that connects all money, everywhere, safely. Okay, let's talk about what all this actually looks like financially, because the numbers are kind of insane. In 2025, Visa brought in $40 billion in revenue, up 11% from the year before, and they've been growing at 10% or more every single year. But the revenue isn't even the crazy part. Their operating margin is over 60%. That means for every dollar Visa makes, more than 60 cents is pure profit. Most businesses are thrilled with 10 to 20%. Visa is at 60. How? Because the highway is already built. Adding one more transaction costs them almost nothing. No new roads, no new risk, no new overhead. The toll just keeps rolling in. And those new businesses, new flows and VAS, are both growing at 20% or more per year. They're not just growing faster than the core card business, they also come with higher margins, more profit per dollar. Even when the economy slows down, people still buy gas, groceries, and pay rent. Visa keeps collecting. This combination, monster margins, steady growth, low risk, is exactly why Visa has been so dominant for so long, and it's exactly why the evolution into a full financial platform could make it even stronger. All right, let's bring it home. Visa started in 1958. Back then, every store had its own credit card. Your wallet was basically a stack of plastic from every department store you'd ever visited. Bank of America had this idea. What if one card worked everywhere? They were so confident they literally mailed cards to 65,000 people who never asked for one. Early default rates hit 22%. It was a mess, but they kept going. Fast forward to today. In 2025, Visa processed 257.5 billion transactions. That's 700 million a day, $14.2 trillion in total payment volume. Active in over 200 countries, 175 million merchant locations, 4.8 billion cards. Basically, every financial transaction happening anywhere on Earth is flowing through Visa's veins in some way. Yes, the world is changing, card-free payments are exploding, new competitors are coming from every direction, but as we saw today, Visa isn't sitting still. The vision is clear. It doesn't matter if you pay with a card, your phone, or a stablecoin. Visa wants to be the invisible layer underneath all of it. The safest, fastest connection between every dollar and every destination on the planet. 60 years ago, this empire started with a piece of plastic. The next 60 years, though, that's going to look very, very different. If you found this interesting, hit subscribe. We do this every week for a different company, and I want to know what you think. Is Visa still untouchable, or is this the beginning of the end? Drop it in the comments. See you next time.